Hi, it's Darnell with Way Over Recipes, and today I'm going to be trying to grill up some chicken breasts in the Ninja Foodi XL Pro Air Oven so we can see how it does cooking up some chicken breasts. And we're going to get started with that right now. And if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button so that you can also hit the notification bell afterwards and always be notified when new things are uploaded, even though there's already hundreds of videos here that you can check out if you haven't already. So we're going to get started now. Alright, so here I have myself 4 boneless, skinless chicken breast halves. I've also got myself some good Old Bay seasoning and some McCormick Girl Mates Montreal chicken seasoning. And nothing in this video is sponsored, but this is what I like to use. And if there's something in particular you like to use, you can put it in a comment. And so I'm just going to turn to this side because I'm going to finish them up with them on the other side. But I'm going to go ahead and throw in my seasonings now on this side of the chicken. And I hope that you all know about Old Bay by now. If you don't know about Old Bay, you have not been watching this channel. And that means you need to watch this channel more. And also try and get yourself some Old Bay, because this is, to me, the best seasoning ever. And I guess being from Baltimore, we just kind of grow up with it. And for everybody else who doesn't know about it, it's like, you know, you might learn about it and you can enjoy it too. But it's just a great tasting seasoning. It gives a nice little small kick flavor to everything, and just makes everything turn out pretty good, any protein that you put it on. So just going to flip these on over, get the other side done. The great thing about the Ninja Foodi XL Pro Air Oven is that I don't really have to start preheating it before I start cooking with it. I just put the food in there and let it stand there through that little 90-second preheat that doesn't get things really hot enough anyway. And then just from there let things just keep on cooking. That always works out pretty good for me. So just going to finish up with my Old Bay on this side. And so, good thing about Old Bay is you can tell, you know, when you're using too much, or your meat's getting too red, you know, you maybe you did it over much. But it doesn't really matter, because even when you overdo it with Old Bay, it still tastes real good. Even if you overdo it with Old Bay, that's the cool thing about Old Bay. You use a little, it tastes good, gives a nice hint. If you use a lot, it still tastes real good. It's just a wonderful seasoning. And so just finishing up here with the covering with the Old Bay. And for somebody like me, that's a nice amount right there. And I've got my iGrill 2 here with the temperature probes. So I've got 4 probes, 1 for each piece of chicken. I'm just going to start putting these probes into the meat here. And that's the cool thing about using a separate meat probe system. Like, they make a different version of this Ninja Foodi that has a meat probe now. It costs a lot more money. But, you know, I figure for the difference, you could probably get yourself an even better temperature probe system, like this 4 probe Weber iGrill 2 system, and you can measure 4 pieces of meat at the same time. It also has a little app that works with your phone if you want to keep track of things on your phone, and you know, by Bluetooth it can let you know when your food's done if you want to do all that good stuff. And you know, depending on the price difference, you might make out even better in price while having, you know, a lot of extra functionality as far as, you know, stuff to do. And so I like having this separate iGrill system here for 4 probes. You know, if one of these indoor oven makers wants to make one that has, like, you know, 4 probes, that would be kind of sweet. And if Ninja started making stuff that was like Wi-Fi enabled, work with an app, so you can keep track of things on your phone, hey, that'd be cool too if they started doing some of that good stuff. But they haven't gotten that far yet, but go ahead and get my hands cleaned up and then we'll move on. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken in, but I did want to mention You see I'm using this pan here for the Ninja Foodi Pro Air Oven. I've got a rack on the third rack level up, and underneath the chicken I've got Copper Chef bacon grill mats. Those are really good for when you want to, make your cleanup real easy. And even though nothing in this video is sponsored, if you check in the video description, I've got like referral links, especially to my Amazon shop, where you can basically like peruse around in my Amazon shop, and you probably can find like the iGrill 2 in the temperature thermometer section. You can find the cooker and a whole lot of other stuff. And it helps this channel when you use that, and you pay the same price that you would at that web retailer. But I'm going to turn the Ninja Foodi here on, and I'm going to try the air roast function for this one. So I'm going up to air roast. I'm going to keep the 30-minute cooking time. I'm going to drop the temp down to 400 degrees Fahrenheit even. And maybe it'll take 30 minutes, maybe it'll take less. I'm going to be keeping an eye on my temperature probes, so I'll know when everything's good and done. And I'm going to go ahead and hit start. It does mention to use rack level 3, which is what I'm using. It's doing its 90-second preheat, then it'll go right into its cook. I'm hearing a slight fan noise from that fan in the back. It's not very loud, but just a little fan action to keep things moving around good as far as that hot air. And I'll bring you on back, and I probably won't be flipping these or anything unless it looks like they're getting really, really overdone on top. I'll probably just leave them in here as is and let them cook on through till things look like they're done, but I'll bring you back later. Alright, so the 30 minutes is almost up, but as we can see, one of them is just at 150 degrees. That's the one on the center right, that's at 150. Seems like it's taking longer to cook than the others, but I'm going to leave them all in until they're all done. But you can see the one on the far right is at 177, one on the far left is at 188, the one on the middle left is at 162, so it's still got a little ways to go. So things in the center with this air roast and having things in the pan, things in the center are taking a bit longer than things on the outside, but I'm going to let them keep all going. If I let it keep running like this, it would stop in about 1 minute 20 seconds, so I'm going to have to add some time. So I'm going to go ahead and bump it up to basically add 5 minutes, so it'll be about 35-minute cook, and we'll see if things reach at least 165 for that one that's at the lowest point right now within the remaining time that we set up now. I'll bring you on back. Alright, so it took about 32 minutes and things hit that 165 for that one that's on the middle right. But we see the one on the far left is at 194, the one on the far right is 194, far left is 205, middle left is 179, so a definite difference for the ones in the middle than the ones on the outside, but I'm okay with it. And so I'm going to, with that, just shut things down. And it has an internal fan that will continue running to do a cool down even after you turn it off. And going to basically open up, we'll have a look at how the chicken looks, and that's how it looks now. So now I'm going to go ahead and start getting pieces of chicken out, putting them on my cutting board, and getting these meat probes, these hot meat probes out if I can without messing up myself or the chicken. But I do want to show you, this is how it looks on the bottom side there. It's very moist. Having things in that pan keeps them all very moist. Just going to go ahead and get the rest of them out of here. But these are all cooked up now. I'm just going to let them rest for a little bit, and then we'll get to some cutting, plating, and taste testing of them. Alright, so it gave things a little bit of time to rest, but I think they've had long enough now. I'm going to take this one that seemed to take the longest and give it a cut just to look inside of it, and we can see it looks done and juicy. One that was on the end that got cooked a little more, cut into it, it's also very juicy in there. It's also looking very, very moist. So I think that even though the ones on the outside got cooked more, they still didn't, nothing I don't think got, you know, really dried out, so to speak. I'm taking one from the interior, I'll take one from the outside, and we'll just set that there. And we'll just do a quick taste test. And before I do the taste test, I did want to mention, I noticed the cooker came back on somehow. I think, you know, maybe when I had it open or something, maybe when it was down, maybe the power button got pressed or something, but we'll just turn it on off again. But let's go ahead and do that taste test. Alright, so it's taste testing time. This is the one from the interior, so we'll taste this one first. You can see the moistness literally dripping off of it. Alright, that's pretty good, pretty moist. So now I'm going to try the one that was on the outside and we'll give it a taste. Okay, they both are moist. They both are definitely moist. Neither dried out. I mean, of course, the interior one didn't. But the one that was on the outside, definitely not dried out. Definitely moist. They're both moist. The one on the outside got a little more sear on it, and that's because it got cooked a little more. But still, they're both very good, both moist. And, you know, they both turned out really nice. The one on the interior, of course, was a little more moist than the one on the outside, but the one on the outside was moist. It was definitely moist. You know, it didn't bite like something that had reached like near 200 degrees for chicken. Not at all. It was moist. It was moist like biting into something that was like in the 180 degree range as far as moistness if you're used to, you know, eating chicken that's been done at different temperatures. So everything turned out good. Air roast worked out good. It's just the stuff on the outside cooks faster than the stuff on the inside. That's just the way it is. And so, you know, with that, everything still cooked up well. About 32 minutes or so. You're talking about a 90-second preheat. So, you know, less than 35 minutes overall, and everything's done. That's all good with a quickie preheat. So, with all that said, in the video description you'll find other ways to help this channel, including memberships. If you're one who likes to see videos before everybody else, you can join as a member. Check that out. You can also hit that thumbs up to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, you can check out my blog, superwaveovenrecipes.com, where I have this and many other hundreds and hundreds of recipes. And there's a link in the video description for this one if you want to print it off. And so with all that said, I wish you and yours good eating.